Elon Musk has said a few times that he's not seen any irrefutable evidence of aliens. And if anyone, he would be the first to know and the first to tell the world, given how established he is with space exploration and with his companies. And in this video, I want to talk about why we may not have seen aliens and one reason behind that I haven't even seen Elon talk about or discuss in his own discussions about the topic to the public. I'm not saying that he's not thought of this theory, but I'm also wondering maybe he hasn't thought of this theory, because I get the sentiment from him and some others that he believes or he feels like, man, maybe we are just alone out there, and because no one's come to see us yet, then there should be no one out there. And it's really, really weird that no one's come to see us yet, and there should be all this evidence of aliens across the universe. So I just feel like the opposite could be true, which is that just because they haven't come to see you doesn't necessarily mean that they don't exist. I mean, who are you to think that like we're so special and amazing and oh, they should come to us, oh, there should be all this evidence? We're just one of potentially an infinite amount of intelligent creatures in the universe, or we could just be one of a very few, but that doesn't mean that, oh, just because we exist, there should be all these people visiting us and all this stuff. In the grand scheme of things, I mean, we've only been intelligent for like a few thousand years of existence, maybe a bit longer, and compared to the millions or billions of years that this universe has existed, that's a blip on the map. So why would they come to see us or show very irrefutable evidence when we're just so new on this whole time span of things? So he also poses this idea that, oh, like, why did it take so long for intelligent life to be created? I mean, it took millions upon millions of years. Maybe we are just the only one because it took that long, and it's such a, it's almost like walking on a thin line, like a balancing beam for miles. It's hard to get to where we are at. And so therefore, we must be so unique, so amazing, and so incredible that, oh, we're the only ones that exist, or one of the very few. And that's his argument. Let me give you my thoughts on it, or like that's his sentiment generally speaking. And I do agree that, yeah, we are very rare, unique, amazing creatures to have, come to existence for sure. After millions of years, it would took a lot of unique circumstances to get to us. And likely that wasn't possible on many planets. I mean, every solar systems, technically this giant, you could call it experiment, almost like petri dishes. Like, okay, just go throw out like an infinite amount of solar systems in the galaxy, in the universe, and let's see which ones develop intelligent life. It's essentially a simulation or petri dish experiment in a way. And we're probably one of the luckier ones. But to say that, oh, we're the only one just because they haven't come to see us yet, I mean, dude, if there's someone who got to where we're at hundreds of thousands of years before us, maybe billions or tens of thousands of years, and they've gotten to such an advanced level that they can travel light years and monitor us, you think they're going to be stupid and be like, oh yeah, they're just getting started. They're, a few thousand years into our 100,000 year history. Yeah, let's just announce to them yeah, here we are, let's go. Unless they wanted to colonize and enslave us, which, now we're projecting how humans treat other humans. But, unless that happens, then, maybe not. Maybe we don't want to see them, and that's what Stephen Hawking says. He's like, yeah, if we do run into an intelligent species, who's to say they're going to be nice? If they're anything like other humans, they're going to colonize, maybe they'll rape, maybe they'll enslave, maybe they'll become grand dictators of the whole country. Sure, maybe they have achieved enlightenment and they're peaceful creatures, and if they do exist, then we should be goddamn thanking them that they didn't come here to fucking blow us up or enslave us, and they're letting us do our thing like we do to some indigenous, tribes in the Amazon who still don't know that there's like modern civilization. We just leave them alone. We don't announce our presence because we don't want to like scare them away with our technologies. Let them live in peace. And I would say there is unfortunately some, something to that. Now, Lex Friedman did bring this up briefly when he interviewed Elon Musk, and I felt like Elon's rebuttal was just not strong enough. It wasn't convincing to me. He said something like, maybe they're just nice aliens, and then they leave us alone because, and then Lex made the argument that like, oh, we're just like ants in the jungle, like asking ourselves like, where are all the other animals? And then I don't think that was a strong argument. Okay, Lex, you lost it there because that's not the right analogy. Because, to Elon's point, he was like, well, you would run into other ants at least. That's not the right analogy, dude. But, to say that we're just being left alone, it's possible. And I don't think the ants analogy is the accurate one. It's more like ants living in the middle of an ocean. Like maybe like floating on a pile of rocks or a pile of debris on the ocean. Asking ourselves, where are the other ants? That's a better analogy to me because let's just be frank, like y'all don't understand how far we are from other star systems, let alone galaxies. And so I think the biggest thing I wanted to bring up to Elon was, dude, we are light years away from other solar systems. Don't you think that it's really difficult to get to us? And maybe that's done, on purpose by some higher intelligence or God or something. But so we're so far away that even if we were able to travel at the speed of light, which we're not even a fraction close to, it takes us years and years and years, sometimes decades at that speed to get to us. So for someone to make that trip at possibly the fastest speed known to physics, that's, in theory possible, just to broadcast some light to us to show that they exist, it would take years, sometimes decades, sometimes centuries, just to show some light. And then even if you get that light, you're like, oh, does that mean they exist? Do they not? And then like to broadcast something back is going to take decades more, so it's just going to be ridiculous. And then you're going to announce that you exist and you're intelligent to an unknown entity all the way over there that you don't know much about. Who knows what they're going to do? They're probably, like as humans do, going to start some counter war measures just in case, because they don't know anything about you too. And as other countries have done, they will build up their atomic bombs, their space bombs and stuff like that. So it's unfortunately not something an alien species would even want to do, because it just puts them in danger, even if they are a peaceful species. And let's say they could travel at the speed of light, which I doubt, because you'd probably be shredded unless you are light itself, if you even came close to that. So likely most of them have not invented a way to travel that fast. And even if you do, according to relativity, that would just be incredibly sacrificial. Assuming they have anything like the lifespans we do, and they don't live like thousands of years. When you take a trip like that, you're not going to see your loved ones again because of relativity. Like you're going to age much slower to them. It may just be like perceived as a 10-minute trip for you with that light speed travel or whatnot, and then it could be like years and years for them. And then by the time you're back, like shown in Interstellar, It's kind of that was kind of an extreme example, an exaggerated example. It's not that extreme, but by the time you're back, you probably missed like 10, 20 years with your friends and family. So that's crazy. And considering the fact that it's literally light years, you're going to be spending years and years and years just sitting in a space shuttle just to visit this other world, other star system, and say hello. And so think about that. Y'all don't have any empathy for the aliens. You're not really thinking about this, Elon or Lex Friedman. Those aliens are sitting on that space bus for like years. I mean, imagine the worst. Have you ever tried solitary confinement or the worst space bus experience of your life? Maybe you've been on a school bus or something and you're trying to get to work and you're all squeezed in together. Imagine that times 20 years. Now, okay, they're probably like smart enough to make it like comfortable, but like how comfortable can you make it when you're trying to boom, flip out at the speed of light? There's probably something. They have to probably make it real small because they can't make it a giant space shuttle with like a gym, a movie theater, all these luxuries to occupy your time. To travel that fast, it's probably got to be a narrow, tiny shuttle, and you're just zooming through space. And so you're probably in some cramped quarters, maybe with a few other co-pilots or whatnot. And then you got to sit in there for years and years and years. Think about the sacrifice to do all that. Decades of it. And then by the time you get to that planet, let's say you announce yourself to them, they're going to be hostile back. They may initiate some type of effort to capture you, throw you in jail, experiment on you. They may even kill you and then dissect you, if you're lucky. So who knows, maybe you're just on a scientific mission, a peaceful mission, where you don't make your presence known. But then now you gotta be careful in not getting caught by all the airplanes and cameras and all that stuff trying to find you. And then on top of all that, you don't even get to talk to them or announce your presence. And like, then you basically, who knows, you just like collect some specimens, take some photos of this new world with these planets. And then you go back home, and what a sacrifice that's been. You probably spent years in that cramped space shuttle just to not interact with any of these other intelligent beings, with your co-pilots. And that's if you're lucky. In a rare case, which, you don't want to happen, it's when you get caught by all these people who are not thinking empathetically, and they're just like, oh, aliens, let's shoot them down, let's kill them, let's capture them, let's get evidence of them, let's talk to them, where's intelligent life? So if anything, we should be applauding these aliens if they are doing that stuff, to be able to monitor and check out this planet without getting caught because of all the bozos and people trying to capture them or take them down or whatnot. So of course they're going to need technology that's like 20 times better than us just to evade all this stuff. It's almost like a whole thing's a minefield because there's satellites, there's radars, all sorts of shit trying to capture you. There's air territory now. So shit, it's just going to get harder and harder if there are intelligent species to not be evaded. And if they are evading us, hats off to them. I mean, who knows what the sacrifice they made? Maybe it's just some intergalactic organization and they are doing all this stuff and they're not getting rewarded for it. That alien could have spent like 30 years away from his family and friends, and for what? For no reward once they get to this planet. So for Elon and others to just say like, oh yeah, it's because it's really weird, there's no alien life out there, that's strange, we may only be the only ones. Is that confirmed for true? I don't think so. I don't buy it. Just because you haven't seen any lights in the sky or any types of like unverifiable proof that they exist doesn't mean we should put some holier than thou approach